Hello friends, my name is Ricky Horton, and I'm going to show you how to be a guitar player that people actually want to play with. And the first thing, the most important thing in music, and the first thing we're going to go over is rhythm. You don't even need your guitar, all you need is you. After that, we'll go over the guitar itself, kind of how it works, how to hold it, how to tune it properly, how to hold the pick. We'll also go over just some basic picking techniques, and then finally I'll show you guys how to play a simple song. So stay tuned. Alright, so the first thing we're going to focus on, and it's the most important thing in music because it's the one thing that everyone can do because you don't need an instrument to do it. And we're going to put the guitar down and we're just going to worry about rhythm. Alright, so I'm sure if you're interested in music, you probably listen to music. And if you listen to music, you probably tapped your foot or done something along with the beat. And it's really just as simple as that. And all we're going to do is count to 4. And we count to 4 times. And each of those counts of 4 we're going to call a measure. And so we're going to do 4 measures. And all it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. You can snap. You can tap your foot. But the most important thing is to keep it nice and consistent. And if you want to go online, you can go and find a metronome. If you have a metronome at home, you can do that as well. Because we are human, and all humans are imperfect. You can certainly train yourself to get better, and you will over time. But it's very important to start out and make sure that you're doing it correctly. Otherwise, if you play something and it's not in time, you could be playing the coolest sounding thing ever, you could be playing the fanciest lick, the hardest stuff ever, but if it's not in time, it sounds wrong. And you don't want to play wrong notes because then people don't want you in their band. So, if you want everyone to like you, learn to use rhythm. Every guitar player is a rhythm guitar player. There's no lead guitar player, there's no rhythm guitar player. Everyone is rhythm. Everything is rhythm. So focus on that, and then we can move in. If you feel like it's hard, that's okay. Spend a little time with it. But once you can just simply keep it consistent, you find yourself a click or a metronome, and just keep that smooth. And when you're ready, when you feel like you can really own that, and you can hear it inside your head, go ahead and pick up the guitar again, and we'll move on to the next part. Before we get to anything, for those of you that are completely new, I'm sure you can kind of figure out how to hold the guitar, but some people do a couple little things that may work against them. So, first of all, the reason I cross my leg like this is because it elevates the guitar, and it makes a little pouch here against my hips so that it sits in there like a valley. If I was sitting flat, it wants to kind of slide across my lap, and then we have to do this weird stuff with our hand, and it's just horrible. So I recommend, either getting a footstool or just simply crossing your leg over in any way that's comfortable and getting the guitar nice and close to your body. Now, some guitars are shaped here, but not all of them if you're playing with an acoustic. But obviously, you want to hold it here and then reach over with your arm. And you don't want to come from this side here. You're not doing this weird like flat thing. The guitars have straps now, and we don't have to hold them like mariachi bands. So just come at a nice, comfortable angle, and what you're gonna want to do is when you kind of rest your hand, if you were to wave at your friend over here, and then just kind of lay your hand down on the guitar, it would land somewhere in the middle. And you just want it to be nice and comfortable. So you can, and then just anchor the inside of your elbow here, right here, and just set that there, and that gives you a nice resting point so that you're not kind of all over the place and trying to guess where to go. It's already hard enough to hit the strings, you certainly don't want to make it any more difficult than it has to be. So holding the pick, you don't have to use a pick. There's a lot of really great guitar players that don't, but you probably should at least try it out. Most guitar players use a pick, so unless you're completely against it, this is how you hold it. Generally speaking, the easiest way to do it is, what you want is for it to kind of be to hang off the bottom of your thumb. So if you just held your thumb sideways, and you just push the pick on it, right? And then all you got to do is reach over and kind of grab it with your finger. And you're holding it just like that. So what you have is a nice level surface, so when you move your wrist back and forth, it crosses a plane. And that's all we're trying to do. You don't need to grip it real tight or do anything crazy. You just kind of want to hold it there and be in control. And when we go to pick a string, it's helpful, instead of doing it flat, like straight across, if we angle the pick so that it goes across the string like this, instead of flat. I know it's hard to see from here. It'd be nice if we could zoom in on that. But all you want to do is simply, it's an arc motion. And all we want to do is just kind of swim across the string. So we come down at an angle, and arc across. And that's where we get to rhythm. Once you feel like you can hit the string and make a sound, it's all about up and down. And what you can learn to do is all strumming. For the most part, all that you're doing is moving your hand up and down. And the only thing that changes is when you actually play the notes themselves. So I could be sitting there moving my hand like this and only play one note at a time. And the point is that if I'm always moving in time with the rhythm, then anytime I hit a note, even if it wasn't the one that I planned on hitting, it's still going to be on time. And that is huge. So if you can learn to just, you don't even have to play any notes. All you need to do is make this little, and if you can have a click that taps, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can simply do that, you are well on your way to being able to play in a band, or with anyone, and it'll be a lot more enjoyable for other people to hear you as well. Okay, so we obviously need to tune the guitar. And in order to do that, we take the string, and each string has a name, and each name corresponds to a note. The first string, which is the smallest string, which is at the lower part of the guitar, but it's higher in pitch, it's called E. Sounds like this. And what you need to do is either have a tuner, or hopefully your guitar is somewhat in tune, and you just need to make your note sound like this note. This is an E. This is a B. This is a G. This is a D. This is an A. This is an E. That is the notes of the guitar. The first string E, second string B, third string G, fourth string D, fifth string A, sixth string E. If you need to tune the guitar I would recommend tuning the guitar to a tuner. There's many online tuners. There's a lot of electronic tuners that you can buy. They're easy because in the beginning it takes a lot of ear training in order to hear the subtle differences between two notes to truly get the guitar in tune. And the electronic tuner does a lot of that work for you by giving you a digital readout of whatever note you're on. So for instance, if I were to play an E note on my guitar, the tuner would say, hopefully, if I'm at an E, it would say E. And if it's moved too far, often, if it's too far to the right of the tuner, if you were looking at it, it was too far this way, that means the pitch is too high, and we would need to loosen it. And we would do that for every string, it would just follow suit. Now, once the guitar is kind of in tune, if it sounds out of tune with itself, all you have to do is play the 5th fret of whatever string above the string that you're trying to tune. So if your D string is out of tune, we tune to the 5th fret of the next lower string, which is also a D note, but it happens on the A string. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 5th fret, and we make sure that those notes are the same. Now if they were different, you see how ugly that sounds? So what we need to do, we know this is in tune. This is a D. This is a real D. This is supposed to be a D, but it's not. So what we're going to do, and you kind of hear that weird wobble go away. And now we're in tune. Stuck in your head a little bit, because these are the 3 chords we're going to be learning. Everyone does C, G, and D, but I think it's just been overdone at this point. So these are we're still using G, D, but instead of C, we're going to use an A major, and it just gives it a little different sound. It has a little more bluesy of a sound. I just thought it would be a little more interesting for those of you who may have used other guitar resources, or you're just sick of hearing the same old thing. Thought it would be an interesting twist. So the first chord we have is kind of a modified G chord, and how that works is we have, starting with the 6th string E, we put our middle finger on the 3rd fret of E. Put our 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and we play those together. And then we play the open D, the open G, and we just put our 3rd finger here on the D, which is the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, the B string. And when we play them all together, we just have a regular G chord. And the reason I like this G for beginners is because this D note is common to both the G chord and the D chord. So all you have to do is move one finger, and it's that simple. You can leave your 3rd finger here on the D of the B string, which will be the 3rd fret again. All you have to do is move that down. And how the D works, you don't play all 6 strings. We're only going to play this open D, this A, which is the 2nd fret of the G string, and this D again, which is the 3rd fret of the B string. So we just have, and then the last chord is A, which is open A, and then what you do is it's called bar, and all you do is just squeeze these top notes. want, you can use 2 fingers. If you're having a hard time with the bar, you can use 2 or 3 fingers. But just for ease, I think it makes it more useful just to use this here, because these are the only notes that we're worried about. And then simply, we just count. Mix it up however you like, but it's just, that's all you want to do.